I'm live right now. Hey everybody, it's Tad, and this is the Attitude for Gratitude presented by 2218, and you know I'm here with my best friend,
Timmy J.
Hey, we got a great show for you tonight. We're not going to fill in all the details. One of the guests is going to be Aaron.
What up, y'all?
Hey Tim, you know what time it is? Cut the frickin' promo.
2218, that's who has the housing on us right now. That's where we're at, 2218. This club is amazing. So, Elena, our awesome producer, has already put up a link. So if you're able to donate to 2218, it would be greatly appreciated. It helps to keep these doors open, and they are part of the main reason we're coming to you live with this podcast tonight. So with that, we will talk about more things that the club has offered to us.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna go right into the pit rescue thing, but we'll do club stuff. So the third annual Ride for Recovery is coming up in the last Saturday in June. Be here or be square. And hey, man, if you don't ride bikes, that's okay, because come to the party starting at 1:30 and just eat some food, listen to some music, get some fellowship on. It'll be a good old time.
Yeah, it will be a party.
Contact the Minneapolis Alamo Club's email or myself. And I'll be dropping how to contact me at the end of all this, as will Timmy. You can always contact him, and he can get you in touch with me. I'm Tad Ackerman on Facebook, or Tad Ackerman, all lowercase, with the number 1 after it, at Gmail.
And I am Timothy J. Warren on Facebook. As of now, that's where to contact us. And Tad always says it, but just let us know, that you're reaching out to talk to us. And, we want to make a connection that way. We're always here for you.
Hey, man. And also, don't forget to smash that like button. Share this with some friends in recovery. If you know someone that's struggling with addiction or just might be a good fit for the show, share this with them. Tell them to check us out. Tell them, get the word out. Also, if you're listening through a shared link, why don't you just go on to Facebook or the YouTube channel and go on our direct link? Because we can't see your questions. If let's say Bill shares this and you're listening and watching on Bill's feed, we don't get to see your questions. We only see them on the direct live link. And so that's why some people's questions have been missed. Speaking of questions, this is a live and interactive show.
Yes, and with that said, everyone who's listening, this thing happens because you all participate. Your guys' suggestions, anything you guys can bring to the table, it's welcome. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunate, but you know what? I do accept, what's that called?
Constructive criticism.
Yes,
I do not, but Tim does. No.
I took a heavy dose of it a few weeks ago, and I'm going to try to apply what was asked of me or suggested, because that's just how we do this now. And the audience is part of that. And I'm just asking everyone to step up and give some suggestions, questions. Tad always talks about interactive show. Let's keep
and hey, man, as we've seen in the past, the comment section, this could be a tool to help. If you're struggling with stuff, people in this comment section, they will help you out. I've seen miracles happen in that, and that's what this show is all about, to be helpful and to have fun.
Yeah, networking is huge. That happens through this show.
Yep. In July, we're going to have a rap battle. We're not really going to go too much into that because we were giving constructive criticism about Timmy's rap. Timmy Loose Legs over there. So it's going to be good. One other thing that I was asked to promote is the Pit Squad Rescue. And this is an organization that goes and picks up dogs and they find them homes. We got people who foster them. They feed them. It's a great organization. Elaine and I were at a benefit for it. What was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty good. You know what? I know the people. They are going to be posting the link eventually in the comments. I don't know if they're listening.
Going to be on the show as well really soon?
Yes. Miss S is going to be on the show. And, so that's some great stuff that's going on. You got anything? Why don't you just promote the kitchen right now, Tim?
You know what? Yeah, the Gratitude Cafe, Jane's Gratitude Cafe. I know it's not Jane's Gratitude Cafe, but listen, for $5, Jane is making love for you. You're getting a whole dinner. $5. Tonight was, I walked in, it smelled so good, and I was mad because, you know what, you got to get here. Friday nights, for $5, you're getting a whole meal, you're getting a dessert, you're getting drinks. I mean...
Oh, dude, it was bomb.
It was just...
Chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, chicken and dumplings. Oh, my God. It was though. Every Friday, like she put it's homemade. Like you're getting a homemade meal for $5. It's hard to find that nowadays, and they have the amenities where they can do this COVID safe. So it's like it's amazing what happens here at the club, and that's why you know what I stand behind this club so like hardcore.
Yeah, can you hear Tim now?
Can people hear me now?
We're getting hearts, so I'm assuming.
Can you hear me now? Chris, can you hear me, babe? You know what? I'm gonna turn my phone up and see if I can hear myself. I don't know.
Yeah. You can hear us.
I can hear you guys in my
Yeah.
background, so something's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you jump over my? Well, just fix it. Anyways, without further ado, while we fix Tim's microphone, me and Aaron are gonna get into it, and you're gonna hear Tim continuously try to. I can hear you, Tim.
I can hear him fine, but
No, you guys keep going.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron.
yeah.
All right, let's chop it up.
All
Yeah,
right, brother.
So, Aaron, come on in, Rick. And we are now joined by another guest with. Oh shit, we got two guests.
We got two guys.
Why don't you grab a chair and just post up right next to here? Right now, we have a good friend of mine, Rick. Short notice. He had about 10 minutes to get up here, and he's here. Rick, grab the headphones right there. And then why don't you say hello? Aaron, start talking about stuff after he said hi. Sorry, guys. Say hello, Rick.
Say hello, Rick.
Gavin, you want to come over here?
Going.
This is cool. We got father and son in the house, both in recovery. Isn't that tight, Aaron?
That is tight.
So, objects in motion must stay in motion. So we're in motion
Rick.
now, Aaron.
What's going on, Timmy?
What do you want to talk about, Aaron?
I just want to talk a little bit about, like where, a little bit when I first started in this recovery thing and where I started and where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like life has changed a lot in these last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like our relationship together, me and Tad, and the people I've met, and this club alone is what it's done for me.
We and this club have come a long way, dude.
Oh yeah,
Really
I've
a
seen it
long way.
firsthand.
Like, what I mean? Like the amount, going through this whole COVID thing and coming out of this, like this club stayed open. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I finally, not even just that, it's just living life like through the sober living, going to meetings, and finally being out of sober living. It's a great feeling. Like my life is like moving forward, and it's continuously moving forward.
Absolutely.
And I have to thank for being in recovery. Like I wouldn't have the things I have if it wasn't for the rooms, the meetings, this club, the people, all that.
So let's talk about, talk about when you first came in. Like you walk me through that. You were on the streets. You were destitute. What
I
was
was
going on?
destitute. I was homeless again. I finally, Mom finally let me back in for the few days that I was there. I was just a broken person. You know what I mean? Like I was at to the point where the drugs and alcohol were just not working anyway. You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter how much I put in my body; it just wasn't changing what I wanted to do anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't working. And if my mom saw how broken I was, and she asked me, she's like, "Son, will you go back to treatment one more last time?" And I agreed. You know what I mean? Like I knew I needed something. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and at that point, I've had some recovery in the past, and I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not going back. This is to it. I just accepted my life the way it was, and it was miserable. You know what I mean? Like
You said you had recovery in the past. Did you go? Were you in multiple
I've
inpatients
been
or?
in multiple treatments. I've been, if I could count them out, it probably about at least 12 treatments,
Since you were about what age did you start going?
all the way from the age of 18.
This has been lifelong.
And I'm
then.
gonna be 42 this year. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's been
been lifelong,
lifelong.
but in the last 6 years, it's probably been multiple, like one after another.
So-
I get out, go to sober living, relapse.
I started seeing you
You know
in the
what I mean?
room a couple years before
Yeah.
this run, and Because you came in the room when I left this last time for my last.
Yep,
for my
and I
last-
stayed, and then you came back, and that's me and you kind of really connected, and we really connected when
should we
you
talk?
really. Yeah, we
So-
can talk about that.
Well, I think we get you to the point where you're at the house manager. But let's get you that. Tell us about that before you became it. Because so you're in treatment.
I was inpatient. I graduated New Way House 1,
Yeah.
I found a sober house where I didn't have to pay a deposit. It was over on the north side. I really didn't want to go. I really didn't care for the neighborhood. Plus, I made my home over here already with my recovery, so the travel time. And I ran into a friend. Todd helped me. You know what I mean? He got me out of where I was
helped
at.
a lot of guys.
He was in the house with you?
He was here at the meetings here that I was
Okay.
going to,
Okay.
and he reached out to me, and I kept on coming to the one meeting, which I call my home.
Yep.
It's my
And
home.
it's
group,
my
too.
home
Tuesday
group.
night one? You go there
Yeah, the
Tuesday
Tuesday
nights?
night meeting.
Yeah.
And what time's that at?
At 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
He reached out to me and he's like, "Hey man, I got a position for you as being an assistant." And I was like, "Okay."
Assistant house manager?
Being an assistant
Okay.
house manager, and I was like, "All right, that's okay." At first I didn't want to take it because I was kind of a little worried about like taking that extra step.
Right.
Right.
You know
More
what I mean?
responsibilities.
And not even that. I
and
was like
moving away.
moving away. You know what I mean? Not even that. It was like I didn't have the money for the deposit, and New Spirit waived that for me.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
they waived it. I had the opportunity to work that off.
Okay.
So I did that. I worked that off.
Like
and
you
then-
found out that info from what? Just networking? Someone said, "Hey, they'll help you with this." That's part
Exactly.
of what happens in the program, right?
Yep.
Things like
And
that.
I later found out that he actually paid a little bit of money out of pocket for me.
Nice.
And I was
Nice.
like, "Man, is there any way I can repay you?" He's like, "No." He's
Just
like,
stay
"You are
clean."
just stay clean."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you've already paid me back by
Right.
you helped start going to the meetings. You helped running the meetings. Now you
So
went.
was he a manager at the house you're going to be an assistant at?
Yep.
And that was on the north side?
No, that was
So
here.
was the
That
one
was here on
over-
the south side.
Okay, and then is he the one who presented the option to you to go over there?
Exactly.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, cut you off.
No. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine. And he presented that to me, and so I initially talked over with my sponsor about it. And I was like, I'm like taking a huge decision and make, a huge step in my life. And I was like, I'm a little worried about it, but. So I weighed out the pros and cons of it, and I went with it, And ever
Right.
since that, I've kind of followed like through suggestions of what to do, and how I made it this far now. It's all worked out.
What was
you
your
know?
biggest fear about that move? When that was presented to you, you brought it to your sponsor. What was the big fear about that for you?
To me, being responsible and being kind of like under the thumb, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And I was worried about I was going to mess that up by relapsing, you
Right.
know what I mean? Because that's all
That's what-
I've
part of
always
your
done,
story,
you know what I mean?
right, yeah,
Like I'll be
yeah.
like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months into the sober
How much
living.
clean time did you have when this happened? When you
I
were
had
presented this?
maybe a little over 6 months.
Oh, okay, so fresh.
You know what I mean? I was still pretty fresh, and I was like, usually I get to about the 9-month mark, and then I go right back out. And it's usually about a month, 2 months before I get back into treatment again. And
Just that
doing that
vicious
whole
cycle.
thing, and that just became a way of living, for the last 5 years.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That and jail and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's,
Right.
To me, it was like, okay, now I can go get cleaned up for a little while, and then
Right.
I can go right back out. You know what I mean? It was just like that was just the easiest thing to do.
Right.
So.
Seems like we hear that a lot though. Like people
Right.
get caught in that loop of
I always
knowing
saved
they
it
have
for.
that.
I always saved it
For
because, like,
winter?
I opposite.
Oh,
Summer.
really?
Yeah. I'd be burnt. I'd go so hard in the
But-
winter by the time, and I'd be mad too. And then I'd be like, you know what? In the middle of winter, like I can last through the summer, and I'd always fizzle out in
Fizzle
the
out,
spring.
just fizzle.
Right.
I would always fizzle out about fall time, right? And I
Right.
would be like, okay, I got to go back to treatment because it's gonna get cold. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I always thought.
I don't have a
like,
couch. I don't have mom to rely on anymore. And,
Right.
And at this time, this last time is like, I knew I didn't have any more of those, backups.
what, like, and that's the thing. I know a lot of our listeners, and me, I really do too. It's like, what was it? And maybe there is no answer, but what everyone says this time, this is what's different. Like when you hear someone come back from relapse, say, I know this time is different, or like, can you explain, or do you know? Could you tell? Was there something that when you got in this last time, you're just there? What was different?
Was there?
I don't really feel like there was nothing really more different. I was just that tired out. Like I was
Right.
just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna actually go with this and actually sit and listen,
Taking
not talk,
suggestions.
listen. You know what I mean? And actually take the suggestions that are presented to me and actually follow through with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and figure out my own path with that. You know what I mean? Like I always figured I had to do this or do that.
You're pretty good at doing things, and I'm not. And this is gonna sound bad, but your own way, the right way.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. So like, if someone does something, Aaron will do something. Not only I'm sure he fucks up too. Actually, I know he does.
I make mistakes all the time,
But he does things the way he thinks. He doesn't stick to the path or beat. But
no, because I think in recovery, I don't think you know. What I mean, it is cookie cutter though. You mean you
It's not-
follow the
not
certain
one side,
steps.
yeah.
It's not one sided, and it's everybody's experience with anything, and
Yeah,
that's just the way life
absolutely.
is with everything. And I all through the years I've learned, and I've actually thought about it. I learned something every time I went back, into treatment and learned something.
Right.
But now it's just like the light bulb just kept on going off. Like every time I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's what that means. And I think that's what's really helped.
Do you think like what I'm hearing is like? Do you think this time like I'm trying to figure out okay, so what's different? But is it more or less like do you think it was like a chain reaction of okay, this time I'm gonna basically shut up, listen to someone else, and finally you started hearing some of these messages? Or I mean, you see what I'm saying?
I
You
know,
said
I see
that
what you're
like
saying.
you finally started listening to someone else. You finally started taking suggestions. Like that stuff started to set in. You think over time more and more?
gosh.
Well, I think it was more of that, but it was just, I would have to go back to where I was just sick and tired of doing what I was doing. Like, I knew something needed to change. And the only way to change that, and I figured, I gone through the years of using everything, and I would see people with nice things and this and that, and I would think this shit would just be, like, dropped in my lap. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to do anything for this. I didn't have to work hard for this. And, this time around, it's like, okay, I look back at it as like, yeah, I did a lot of hard work, but really it wasn't that hard.
Right.
If you actually just get off your ass and do it. You know what I mean? That's not how it was. And so I started listening to those suggestions and following those, and it hasn't led me stray. So,
Right. No,
You know
and
what I
that's
mean?
like Rick's here. I don't know if you have said hi yet. Have you?
Oh yeah, I said hi.
Well, all right. Well, I'm not.
Hi
I'm
again.
joking. So, like, can you relate to? I mean, I'm on the whole interaction thing, but basically,
Keep going.
you're solid as a rock.
Yeah.
Like Chevy once said. Oh no, I just got that now. All right,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
solid. So, all right, we're gonna interact, you guys. So I know, like Rick, your story is a little different. Basically, what got you to these rooms? Is I want to kind of start at the bare bones, and I want to hop back to you after that, Aaron.
Okay.
Is what got you into these rooms? Like this, like kind of give us a quick breakdown. I know you just celebrated a milestone.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yep. And 3 years ago, what got you here? To make that choice that this time, is this because I know a little. We had a night a while back with Rob at a pool hall where I heard a lot of your story. That was like 2 years ago, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it was even longer than
Yeah, I
that.
think it was like a year and a half or something.
Yeah, it was a while back, but like, I know your story has lots of facets to it and lots of legal stuff, and but what I was hoping you could share. I mean, I know this was last minute, so it wasn't like you were prepared to bring a whole bunch of stuff. And if you're comfortable sharing
That's the way
about
to
it,
do it. Is the last minute.
hey, from the HP, like
That's right.
that's where we share from. Because I know you've made a lot of changes in your recovery too. Like in your
Yeah,
like, there's a
whole lot.
lot of things that have been happening. Like, share with us like what got you in these rooms. What got you to make this choice of recovery?
Man, I just wanted to stop, dude. Like, the last time I really used, I've tried getting clean a few times or whatnot, and I think like the longest I've made it clean was like a year.
On
And,
your own?
Well, no, I went to treatment my
Yeah.
first time, but for me it was like I didn't work with a sponsor or nothing like that, and all gung ho about it after I got a treatment, and then shit.
That pink cloud deal?
Oh yeah, like I got this, but and eventually I fell off, but that time around, like, My daughter, my ex-wife had videoed me last time I really relapsed hard. And my daughter, what like really started sinking in a little bit, it was like my daughter said, I can remember seeing the video and my daughter saying, "Mommy, is my daddy going to die?"
Oh,
And not only that, but I fucked up my kid's Christmas, and that's like one of the worst things that keeps in my mind.
right.
But this time around, like, I was trying to manipulate the system, I was doing, DWIs and all that
Right.
shit. But I did, I'd stop drinking, but I'm still going to smoke weed, maybe eventually go down. But that would just eventually sent me back to alcohol. But then, yeah, man, like, it's kind of, a lot of people, when I tell part of my story on how I actually got clean, but, when I originally got clean and decided I wanted to stop, they found me in a snowbank, half naked and, pretty much like I buried myself in a snowbank, like wanting to die, dude. Like, and that just like from that day, like when I woke up in the hospital, shit all hooked up to me and everything like that. It was like, dude, like
Your story has it that's a dark at that bottom of the pit. That when people say a bottom, like we have a lot of listeners not in the program, a lot. Like I know personally 15 that are just they're listening to this and they don't know about recovery, your treatments, this, that, and the third. But like people talk about their bottom, and what that means, like for those listening, it's basically people talk about when it's like the worst of the worst when it comes to using and in their life, like. You're talking about, wrecking a Christmas. The wife videotaped you at one of your, when you're all effed up and showed it back to you. And, like, I do recall you sharing that with me. Like, to think of those situations, like, do those still, like, 3 years later, when you start having thoughts, maybe using thoughts or, like, going back or thinking you can maybe just drink a little, this, that, are those the type of things that go through your head? Like, are those the thing that hold you in recovery? Or what keeps you here in recovery?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like, dude, like, yeah, I have a thought of using, but that's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, my sober date's 3/26/18. So when I got into treatment, that time, like, you're saying rock bottom, dude. Like when I went rock bottom, like I lost everything, like my job, my kids. Two of my kids was going to CPS. I lost
Right.
my license. I got divorced. I lost my house. I mean, dude, I hit rock bottom, and that's the way it was for me. So that was the opportunity for me. Like, dude, like, I lost my mom to an addiction. Her life ended tragically, violently. But so the whole addiction and alcoholism like ran deep in my family.
Right.
So it was just, it wasn't secondhand. It was firsthand for me. Like, I used for 32 years. So,
Yep.
but when I made that decision, like, dude, nobody forced me. I wasn't on. I don't even think. Yeah, no, I was on probation.
We
but,
always have legal issues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
throughout our
right,
whole
I
life.
mean, I
you
had
know.
legal issues too,
Right,
but
right, right.
But I mean,
I was kind of in the
wasn't
same boat. I could,
court-ordered,
yeah, I
like,
could still make that decision and go right back out.
Right.
To me, probation, whatever you hold over
That was
my head,
just, yeah.
it didn't care to
Right.
me. I already been through all that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you have too.
It's just like, dude, like I it was up to me, like, dude,
Yep.
like I'm tired of living this way, like, and I put myself in treatment. It wasn't my probation.
That was your choice. What
it
you
was
decided.
my choice.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So and then like we were like you guys were talking about, like, dude, when I got into the rooms, like, yeah, I heard all this shit before, but in all reality, like, dude, like, I really need to do something with this,
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. Like, I went in 1,000%, dude. There
Yep.
was no
half-ass,
half-ass
half-foot.
shit, dude. Like, and yeah, of course, dude, I have bad days every day. Everybody does.
But what do we do?
Everybody
We,
has
sh- we- I
But
mean,
we keep going. We
Yeah.
talk about this
Yeah.
shit. We
Talk
don't
about
hold
stuff.
it in,
Yep.
And my life is 1,000 times better today
right.
than it was.
And
10
I
years
think
ago.
about that a lot too, because people talk about what brought them to the rooms, and like for me, I see this wholeheartedly, and like I'm hearing it from you, like. There are certain, people find these rooms legal reasons. They find them because mama wants them there, because the wife or the kids, like, awesome. If that gets you to these rooms, like, I'm all for you. I hope it works. I hope you catch the message. But me personally, and when I hear like success stories, it's like At the end of the day, I knew the only reason this was going to work for me is if I chose it.
Hell yeah, it's
And, like,
it's up to you.
Like, yes, and we've had guest after guest come on and be like, it's one, you're the one who makes that decision. Like, he was just sharing, I mean, Aaron was just sharing about that. Like, he, in and out, like,
It became a lifestyle, man.
right?
It
And
did.
no one
Right.
walks you. I mean, yeah, you can get walked to these doors of recovery, but we still all, unless you're in jail, you have that choice.
Yeah.
We don't. No one's making us stay here. Like Brady.
Right.
What's up, bruh?
Right.
What's up,
Hi.
Brady?
Brady's in the
Can you hear
house.
me, Tim, in the head, or-
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So it's weird because I can't hear myself.
I know that's.
But so like Brady's here. He was our original guest, and we have Rick. And Rick.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're good, bro.
So I'm gonna try and tie Brady and Rick in together some weird way. So Rick, like some people know Rick. I know Rick from the last 3 years of recovery as being the guy that's always there and he's dependable. That's how I knew Rick. That's why I called one person. I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna call Rick. And if Rick can't do it, I bet he'll show up anyways in 10 minutes.
You knew when
And
you
he
called.
did.
I was
did.
in a meeting when I got that phone call. I was like, "Hey, we need you down there." I'm like, "Shit, I'm right there. I'm on my way."
Rick drops what he's doing to come
Hell yeah.
fulfill.
That's
That's what
awesome.
I do, man.
That's kind of the way. And so Brady is one of my best friends. He works in the field. Do you want to talk about that quick?
Sure.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. First, I gotta say it's good to be here. This is a really nice setup.
Thank you.
If you haven't seen it, it's really feng shui.
Feng shui.
feng shui.
Yeah. Got the little
There you go.
warming
There we
rocks
go.
in the middle.
We had Rick and Morty on the TV earlier. Like,
nice.
Yeah, that's what we do before we pregame with Rick and Morty.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm Brady. I don't know what you were talking about before, but I do work at Detox. I've been there almost 8 months. It is.
That's a long time to be
You
a
know what?
detox,
I'm gonna,
huh?
you know what? I'm gonna interrupt a little and say, can you go back just to like how you and Tad know each other and how you and Tad and Aaron know each
So do
other?
we want to get into that story where you?
We can if you guys want to get into that. That's,
Grinder.
You know what I mean?
Grinder. I knew we'd have a comedy aspect this week.
So-
I love it.
Aaron was talking about how he was
Grinder.
the assistant sober house manager.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I was. I came back in the rooms, and I was at New Way House 2, and I was here at 2218. Trying to do the thing, and me and Aaron became friends at our meeting, and I went to a bad sober house. I'm not going to say the name of that place.
One that didn't work for you.
It
Yeah, it didn't
And
work.
many of you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
And because of my involvement here at 2218, I got kicked out essentially without reason, and I was going back out. I was literally, but I called a couple people, they didn't answer, and then for something I was like, you know what, I'm going to call Aaron. And not only was I going to go back out, this guy had 2 garages full of tools. I was going to take them with me, to pay
from
for
the
the
sober.
sack.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, isn't that what we do when we go? We take
burn
everything with
yeah,
us.
We
I
burn
mean,
every last Brady
We burn
possible.
every bridge.
He damaged like a bag of French fries in a laundry basket, so I was going to take 20 grand worth of tools.
that's fair.
That seems about fair, yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron was like, "No, dude, we're going to get you in this my sober house."
Yeah.
But he sat on the phone with me all night.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep that night and went to work to get the money to get in the door, and I assumed I was going to be staying at my then boss's house for a couple days. And I don't know. That's how me and Aaron kind of hooked up. He got me, and Aaron got a hold of me and started working with me as an assistant manager and a friend and mentor because I was going through sponsors like.
Yeah, you were in a real rough patch, and like I was just so glad that you reached out. When you did, and I was just trying to do my best what freely was given to me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
people have reached out, and I've taken that hand, but the thing of it is I took the hand and I didn't bite that hand. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I have burnt a lot of people in the past, and
right.
being in sober living, I've had people pay my deposits in full. And
it's
totally
just- we
go
do,
out
yeah,
the next
yeah.
day
And
and
still
like
burn the
totally
bridge.
just burn
Right,
the bridge,
yeah.
And I felt so horrible. But when that was freely given back to me one more last time, I was thinking, you know what, this is my last chance.
Right.
You know what I mean? How
does
many more chances am I gonna get?
Where does Brady come into?
Brady was
him?
roommates with Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
Up in
me
the
and Brady, to go back a little bit, me and Brady were at outpatient
Knew it.
a few years back.
Prior to this
Prior
last.
to me and him hooking up again, prior to
at
being
least
at
maybe 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
So was it on your last one that your last recovery?
Yeah, I was still an inpatient, and not to. I ran into Brady on the city bus, right?
Nice,
And
okay.
Brady was in the mix
made
of
the
his
drinking sign.
drinking time. And,
People on the radio can't hear you.
I
You
was
know-
drunk.
yeah,
in case you-
and very very annoying.
didn't
You know what I
pick it
mean?
up.
Like he's like, Aaron, you need to listen to me, Aaron.
I'm a
you
very
know?
talkative drunk.
But yeah.
Giving the drunken advice.
And I kind of just, I felt bad, but I also, when you run into people like that and you're trying to be sober, I was like, oh, get away from me, dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just can't deal with this. But it broke my heart, though, too, because it's like, wow, you know what I mean? I thought when we actually left off from New Way at inpatient, I thought you were doing pretty good and seeing you back out. But I was also thinking, shit, I'm back out, now I'm back in, you know what I mean? Like, I need to help this guy out too, you know what I mean? And
Well, and it hurts too when you find something like we find this solution, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's right here. We've shared about it. Like you want to shake someone to say there's an answer, and then you see someone you care about all sideways on a bus. Like,
Yeah.
So where did it go from there?
I think we ran back into each other back in inpatient.
You
Or not
after-
inpatient, outpatient, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
At
you
one
after
point, all three
how-
of us were in outpatient together.
Yeah, we were all in outpatient together, and I think did you go back to inpatient, Brady?
I did after that. It was like right after you had left.
Yeah, and then I
So
don't
I was
know.
out for maybe like 15, 20
And I think
days
you were like
after.
looking for sober living at that time. I don't know where if you were at
Yeah.
a different sober house, but we got you into where me and Tad were
Yeah.
at
Brady
the
was
sober
there
house. I
first.
was
So
there.
I have an
yeah,
interesting
Brady was there
story
first. Yeah.
about why I chose that one. And it was like 2 days before I was supposed to graduate. And I have this cat that I've had for like 10 years.
Anna.
And every
Fluffies.
time that I become homeless or lose my GRH apartment or whatever, she would go to somebody else. And 2 days before I was supposed to graduate, I'm calling all of these sober houses to see if they'll let me take her in. All of them said no, except that one said, let me call you back.
Yeah.
And they accepted her, so I chose that one based on my cat.
hey, whatever.
Hey.
And they took it, and I can be
Hey.
the first to tell you, I know you still have that cat.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
She's awesome.
Softest cat I've ever
And
had.
it was
Little
awesome, though. I mean,
personality.
to be reunited and actually be a roommate with you.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was.
Yeah, we keep forgetting that me, Brady, Aaron, and a cat shared a room for 8 months.
So that was
Yeah,
over.
for
Was
8
that
months.
was over here on the south side.
That was
you
here on the
three
south
lived
side,
together.
yeah.
That was on the south over here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm actually about to adopt another kitten, a little son for her.
Nice.
awesome.
Something for her to take care of.
Yeah.
So then, all right. So you three get to know each other really well, living together.
You're right.
Really well.
Some of us went to GalaxyCon together and had the time of our lives.
Oh yeah, Brady and Tad did.
And Sydney of the show
yeah.
was there. And
Sydney was
You
there.
couple of us.
kind of almost have to form a bond if you're in a closed space with someone.
Oh, because
But-
you either love the people that you live with,
or you tolerate it.
Or you
But see
don't.
what people
Oh,
don't understand.
right.
Brady
We've
like built
had
this
some crappy
cubicle
roommates.
around his bed.
Oh my God, that's right.
It was like it was
the guys
tented off.
The guys up there tried to do it with duct tape. And,
Yeah.
And one of the people was like, "You better not let Tad see that," 'cause, And they gave this elaborate story about how it cost you $1,000 to do that. Oh
my God.
Hey, we're not going to confirm or deny any of this story, but
Right.
yeah.
But the thing of it
story
is, Tad,
grew.
he had that little corner room over there. Like it looked like a little mini apartment.
Right.
Like he had it all decked
So
out.
this story keeps growing about. Well, he did this. He got in touch
Yeah.
with the director of the director's boss.
Oh yeah, he did.
He got written approval from the vice president, and
Obama stopped by and
yeah,
said
he signed off on
much.
it.
he helped me hang it up.
And I haven't said anything. Well, I'm glad I didn't see it. That's all I said because
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
by the time I got up there.
I mean, if you want the backstory of that, it is like I've always been a very private guy. Like my family was poor. Yes, I wanted to masturbate. There it is.
See on the radio, no one can see me doing that.
Tim's making a gesture.
I just waited till you went to sleep, bro.
Sober House. All right, welcome to Sober House Secrets.
That's where I learned controlled breathing.
Just kidding, guys. That's a joke.
Everyone at your Sober Houses, listen up close because you're getting the secrets right now.
But no, you are a private guy, Brady.
No, I
and-
mean,
No, and that makes sense, too.
My
Like-
family moved around a lot,
Right.
so like I never had the same friend for a year, so I didn't develop those social.
So you kind of close yourself
When you
off
st- you
in the
still
Sober
struggle
House.
with
like
that.
way before addiction. I was that way.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Brady, do you still struggle with that?
I do actually.
Do you find it easy to keep in contact with your close friends?
Oh, here we go.
No, I do not. No,
That was
I
a
do
personal
not.
He's
jab, I
definitely an
think.
introvert.
No, and I came in here expecting it.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to let that fly.
Right.
Get
I'm
him,
not
Tad.
attacking him.
Get
I'm
him,
just
Tad.
asking him to talk about it because there are other
People that could benefit from
Could
this.
benefit.
Yes,
Can-
Right.
definitely.
Can you talk
Yeah, I think.
what I want to know is how you deal with that.
Yeah, how do you deal with that?
Now it sounds like we're
dot.
Well, you know what? He's right because I can tell you that as a guy who didn't move into a sober house is like it's easy for me to close off and just go home.
Right.
Like I don't. I mean, yeah, we were supposed to be picking our phones up. We're supposed to be communicating the meeting after the meeting, but it's easy to just go home and forget about you guys. Like, and now I know you live alone, but you're also your life is in. It's just your life is recovery though. Even your job is whatever coming to do stuff like this, fellowshipping with these guys. So how did you work through that? How's it been?
Obviously, I have a long way to go, but
We all do.
based on like the story that I was telling you about how I lived my life and how I was, secular to most people, going through sober house after sober house, you don't really plan on these people being lifelong friends.
It's true.
I have this tunnel, this vision, and at the end of the tunnel is some sense of normalcy.
Right.
And by that I only mean like sound of mind, a routine, paying your bills on time, like being a sort of normal that my family didn't even
Productive
have.
member of society, would you say?
I have work to do. Let me tell you.
But like you
sounds
didn't
like what-
experience
that's
that.
No, that's the way Brady wants to look at it.
But it sounds like growing up, you didn't even have that. Like you weren't
Right.
taught these type of things.
I wasn't taught it, no, and,
Or
and
shown
it's
it.
hard to instill that right now. My working excuse is I do have a job that's very demanding. We are very understaffed, so I work a lot more than I would like to. The job is recovery per se, but
it's detox. I mean,
I'm
that
getting-
is the very ground, the
Right.
very,
He's
very
like the
yes.
frontline worker
you
right
say-
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
you know what I mean,
Basically,
with that.
frontline worker of addiction.
of
Would you say
addiction.
the disease is in your face a lot? in your job?
I would, but I wouldn't say that's where it ends. That's not the end all because I'm getting paid to do this.
Right.
It is a job. I get off work. I'm exhausted. I have like maybe 2-3 hours to myself, and then rinse and repeat. And you do that enough, it just becomes like numbing almost. So
Yeah.
I'm starting to recognize that. I finally got a therapist that I didn't flake out on the first fucking
Right.
time, and it's over Zoom, so I don't have to be worried about the in-person thing. And I have tremendous social
anxiety? Yeah.
So I'm working through that at a very slow pace, but at a pace that makes sense to me. Getting to know who I am inside my body, where I stand spiritually, and I'm leaving out the others, right?
Right.
The piece of the others, because I'm just like I'm a bullet train right now.
Just head down, go
Okay.
forward.
And it's I'm starting to recognize it though.
So, like, are you finding that because of, you're in detox, you're dealing with this. Basically, let's tell the audience, you're dealing with the shit of the shit when it comes to recovery. These people
Right.
coming in, it's like we said, like the end of the line. Hopefully, people can make it to detox. Do you feel that being in that environment is like, it helps you, not helps you, but it's part of maybe you're not attending as much recovery outside of work as you would be if you weren't there? Do you follow my question?
Yes, yeah, I would very much agree.
But now you're recognizing it more. Is that part of what you're recognizing here? Or?
I'm recognizing that working in this field is not the end of my recovery, right?
Right. Okay.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I went into it thinking, I'm going to be, you can't see my air quotes, a hero.
Right.
And I'm going to
Captain
give back.
Salo.
I'm going to give back to the community that once served me, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. You went in with the best of
So-
intentions.
Right.
I remember when you started the job, you remember you said no the first time?
I did say no because I'll be damned if I want to see that shit again.
Right.
And so if you don't know, the detox that he worked, do you mind? If he was a regular at for a while.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, so and now he's gone back to the place that maybe saved his life or started his journey, and
Right.
he is giving
Kinda like
back.
a payback.
Right.
A
Yeah,
payback.
and-
I mean, how was that?
Can I share our? Do you remember the conversation because I used to work there?
Yeah.
Because Brady said no when we asked him, and we harassed him, and then I had a talk with him about it, and he said yes, but I need to get myself mentally prepared. Was his answer, and I think 2 weeks from then, I got the pleasure as his friend before I ended up leaving the company to train him, and that was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, and he's much better at computers than me, apparently. So I hear.
Yeah, it was my sponsor at the time that like drove me over the edge. He was like, "This is what you need. This is organic. This is obviously your next step."
Well, and I think it's a natural fit for you. Like I look at you now and I see a tech. I'm sorry, you just look like a treatment tech.
He looks like a treatment tech.
I'm
yeah.
honestly wearing my scrub bottoms and they're so worn out that like clothespins.
You got the
are holding-
lanyard with the name
But
tag
once they're
on
worn
it?
out, they're super comfy. Once
Yeah.
the scrubs are worn out, they're
I just
super
bought new ones,
super
but
comfy.
they're so tight.
So let's circle back. So now that we got the back,
Well, a lot of our guests are giving you guff.
who me?
No, giving Brady. Hey, you never returned my text.
right.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
Brady
that was-
showed up. Hi,
I'm
Brady.
stealing
You know
the
what?
vote.
We did have a question.
Ask it.
Yeah, we did
All right,
have a question.
you know what? First, you know what? Congratulations, Willie G, on 18 months. Like we
Hey, good job, Will.
Okay. Well, we congratulate things like that, and we also have someone who's celebrating 3 years as well. Go ahead, Elena.
Turn it off. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
loud and clear.
Okay, so I want to say a big congratulations and shout out to my buddy Chris, who has 3 years today. He is a great inspiration in this recovery life that we're living. So I want everybody to just say congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah, we congratulate Clean Time around here. So we have a question that I'm scrolling back to find.
Yeah, I think I see it.
What did you do when the storm of life came at you, wave after wave? So basically, how, you know what, during recovery, I guess want to go around the table. We'll start with you, Rick. Like, in your recovery, I know we all deal with life on life's terms. They show up. It shows up. Shit happens. Like, what's one of the worst things you can recall happening in your recovery that you made it through because of recovery? Go.
Whoa, you gotta.
Oh, I thought that was like perfect for going into the question. Like, get him. All right, yeah. Let's
Rick.
All right, so like probably like the worst thing that I went through by far is when I left because I went to River Place for treatment, my initial treatment, and I went into treatment and when I
Fairview?
got
Riverside?
River Place.
Oh, River Place.
Yeah.
Okay.
but I got out of there, and then the day I got out of there, I ended up walking into a courtroom, noticing that my kids were going to CPS.
Ooh.
So that was
Child Protective Services.
right, and I kind of looked at the judge and the caseworkers, like, dude, like, because me and the ex weren't on good terms, but I was trying to be that guy, like, I want to be there and do what I can, and I just looked at the judge, like, she walked out, and I'm left in the courtroom, and
And this is how many days clean?
oh shit, maybe 5 months clean, maybe.
Okay. So early recovery.
Well, yeah, but and I looked at the judge and the CPS workers, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's gone, my kids are gone. I'm about to lose another one. Like, what am I gonna do? And the only thing, what really gave me hope, I think, and what really set me off on my recovery journey, is that the judge looked at me and says, "Just stay sober. You want your kids in your life again? Stay sober."
That's good advice.
And I'm like, okay. Yeah, and exactly a year later, got all my kids back.
Wow.
So
That's amazing, man.
A lot of people
You
say
know.
that's a gift of recovery. Like that's
you know,
part of
and,
it.
and the whole thing of it was for me is like, dude, I wanted it.
Right.
I had to. Like, you know, I know what it was like growing up without parents. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was not about to let my kids.
disappear
without
into the
mother.
system.
Exactly.
Like we've heard enough horror stories. And you made it through that basically unscathed. You're still here in recovery, helping others.
Man, I do my best every day.
My man, Brady, in recovery. I know, highs and lows. What's one of the biggest obstacles you've made it through in recovery?
This is like a lot of situations have happened, obviously, but I think the hardest thing to realize was that people like me.
Whoa! So no, what we do?
Wait, back that up. What
We
did
leave
you
our
say?
ego like this
knew
is
that
an
about
ego
Brady.
free zone. Like Tad, tell him about ego free zone. We
bring it
leave
at
it at
the
the
door.
door.
No,
Jeez. No,
not
I'm-
about. It's the opposite.
I'll
let him explain
And
it
I'm
'cause
sure
it's
you
him.
understand what I mean. Like I really struggle with self-esteem, like really bad. From physical to spiritual to the things I say, how I say them, the way I, express thought.
Like
But
you sit and dwell on it after, like, say we're hanging out. You're gonna go home tonight and ponder and worry about what was said during.
every day.
Okay.
Every single day. But I work on that now with meditation. It's guided right now, meaning I just put a YouTube thing on because I'm not very good at quieting my mind on my own. The other thing I do is just, try not to read into people's motives too much. Like, I've had people in the past that like me because they want, this, that, or the other from me. But not everyone is like that. So honestly,
And it
that's like,
sucks when you find that out the hard way.
that's my biggest struggle, and it still is. So it's meditation at home. When I'm not at home, it's walking meditation, which is just like realizing I'm in a chair right now. I'm sitting cross-legged.
Being grounded.
I'm looking at Tim's
Grounded.
sexy ass beard.
Through underneath my mask.
Right. Right. I don't know. That's my answer.
That's a great answer. Hey, but you know what? We're sharing about things we drank over. Like we used
yeah.
over. These were
Right.
things we would escape
got
from
messed up
because we didn't know how to
we
look at
didn't
it.
know-
Yeah,
We
any
didn't-
other
we-
way.
None of us were given these tools, and if we were too busy ignoring them
Right.
and using
Right.
our own tool, the drug or the drink, whatever.
But that's what kept me sick.
Right, and that's why
Every
like this
day.
podcast, Tad's idea of this podcast, like sharing about, just talking recovery. Like when people ask what it's about, what we're talking about now is to me, like a goal of this show. Like people can hear there's other ways because not everyone listening is gonna be clean or sober. Like there are other ways than to drink this shit away or shoot this or puff or this away.
And even just like this room right now in my head, like circling around, like this is fucking nuts to
It's
me.
amazing.
Like, so Elena was one of those people that I wanted to be friends with, and I thought she was cooler than me. And now we're friends.
And you're cooler than her.
She was. That's not true. But and Brady was a guy that I blame myself for Brady's relapse. You remember that? Brady. So before I went back out, Brady was sharing in meetings that he was working and he was in the midst of the relapse, and I got Brady's number, and then I went back out and ended up with my own with the place. It was in the middle of the relapse, so and then I met him, and I had this overwhelming guilt that I should have called him, and he could have come and done meth with me and not been on the streets.
Jeez.
Me and Brady have talked about that.
So you blame yourself for what now? Not relapsing
or
with
you being on the streets at least.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
We're crazy.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Okay.
But
I'm not alone. Thank you.
then me and Brady became friends. Then we got Ron, who he was my assistant house manager and he was my mentor. And then now in the role we're in now, it's kind of
It
flipped.
kind of flipped. Yeah, I know. Tad's been kind of like my mentor. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think it kind of bounces back and forth. Like, you kind of hit that, like you slingshot. You did. You slingshotted like way in front of me, but it's like everybody's recovery is different. Everybody takes it at a different pace.
We can all help each other. I still have bad days where you have to
Oh,
help
you
me.
definitely. You call me all the time, and you know what I mean? Like,
Once in
I
a
might
while.
always give you the
All
bad,
the
not
time.
the greatest advice. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I think I was like, man, I wish the old Tad would just come back.
No, you don't.
Sometimes,
No,
but
no.
It's just at that
Tad's told me
moment.
enough
It's like,
stories. You don't want the old
no, I
Tad to
don't
come
want to
back.
deal with Tad.
There's
You're
been
right.
times where he said that when people have been rude to us.
Yeah, I can only
like,
imagine. dude.
I
can
literally
only
want
imagine.
Tad to go and do his thing, because that's what Tad used to do. Is Tad,
His thing.
If anybody Tad would know Tad used to answer with his fist and fist only. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not Tad anymore.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's
that
part of
isn't
this
me
recovery
anymore.
thing. No,
You know what I mean?
that's what's awesome. Like you
Even if I
saying.
talk about it now, sometimes I feel bad.
That-
Most of the time.
I
Our
see
past
that
does
you
not
do.
define
Yeah,
us.
that
Our
does not
past does
define
not
us.
define who we are today.
I used to be the same way. You know what
We're
I
all
mean?
living
Like,
proof of that.
Right.
that's how I dealt with my emotions. You know what I mean? Like, but to go back to the original question, like,
Yeah. What's one of the biggest
One
things
of
you went through in recovery?
I think just multiple. But my biggest thing is going through, being in a relationship and then it ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Because to be honest with you, when I had a little bit of recovery, it was with my youngest kid's mom, right? I had like almost 2.5 years. Everything was going great. That last year was like the first year and a half was like awesome. Like everything was going great until the baby was born. I started working a lot, stopped going to meetings. Yeah, kind of enclosed with just the family, me, her, and the baby. You know what I mean? And I basically made her my higher power. You know what I mean? Like.
Been there.
But that ended, right? And I was devastated. And it's been that kind of way even going forward. And that's how I almost ended it again over a relationship that ended after about a year. Like, I almost went back out.
Over
Like,
that.
over
ending.
that. I literally found myself at the liquor store.
You shared about that in our last show.
Yeah.
When you
I,
were
and I literally had that beer in my hand. Like
Right.
it was open, almost to my lips, and then I made that split the decision to dump that out.
playing with fire, bro.
I was playing with fire, and then
I remember
I
that.
finally
I don't
made
think I could do that.
No,
shit.
no.
If I got
like,
it open, I'm drinking it.
Exactly, and then when I was doing it, I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I really wanted it
This
so
fall,
bad, but
that
I
would be 2
really,
years ago.
really knew that this. It's like I was a mere finish. Like I was like, man, bro, you were just there 6 freaking years ago. You did the same crap, and then you find yourself standing on a bridge ready to leap off, like because you thought you lost everything. And really, in reality, I lost myself.
Right.
I didn't lose everything. I lost everything is because I lost myself because I let myself go again.
Right.
Like that was hard. You know what I mean? And able to get through that and able to come in these rooms and talk about it and reach out to friends like Tad, Brady, whoever, you know what I mean? And started talking about that.
Did you find when you finally did start talking about it and got to the place that you're talking about now that people were like, no, we've never been through, were you ostracized? Were you ever
And heck no. I had people that would share their experiences with it too, and it gave me some hope. Like, okay, I can get through this.
Right.
But it's just been multiple things. Like I lost my grandmother. I mean, my mom's been in and out of like. She moved into assisted living now. You know what I mean? Like my mom's been my whole world. Like my dad's been around, but like he's not been around. Like
Right.
He's kind of like he's different. He's not a drinker. He's not any of that. You know what I mean? He's just quiet and then
Just like absent.
absent.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I find myself doing that to my own kids. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just hereditary or what.
But you
like
get to
the
break that
genetics.
cycle. You're recognizing
I do get
it.
to
That's
break
the
that
thing.
cycle.
You're recognizing it.
When
Like
things
Rick
do-
was saying, like
Yeah.
he's doing the same thing. Like he recognized it, and like he's like, my kids didn't have a parents. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Yep.
Or at least I'm gonna try my damnedest not
to let that
and
happen.
while I'm clean,
Yep.
I'm sober. Like
But I mean, there's things that come up in life that are like that are tough.
Dude,
You know what I
every
mean?
day,
Oh, yeah.
every day,
Every
man.
day.
Like,
but you know what?
yeah.
To tell you the truth, I'd rather live paycheck to paycheck than
Right.
trap house to trap house.
you're damn
Exactly.
right. You're
You know what I
damn
mean?
right.
Like I get to go home at the end of the day and like feel accomplished.
Yep.
You know,
Right, like John B said this, and like it rang true. Like I can't just live life on life's terms. I have to. I want to read exactly what he said because it's like
Yep.
living life on life's terms kept me sick. I had to live on life I had to try and live life by my higher powers terms.
And that's what's worked for me.
And that's what our predecessors have taught us.
Right.
I never
when I
even
start
looked at it
taking
that way.
control of
Thanks
the show
for him.
again,
I never
it's
really looked at
crazy.
it that way.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
I show up shitty.
Yeah.
I show up horrible when I start taking control of the
Yeah.
show. Me and my sponsor were just talking about this a little.
Once you take your will back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were reading the answers I wrote in my step working guide, and then I was like, well, that's not where I'm at today. And well, wow, yeah, that's exactly what I should be doing. And we were,
Because you wrote yours 4 months ago? Because that's when I think we started at the same time.
no, I'm a couple steps ahead of you.
No, I know, but when we started writing it, I was reading
there's
with my
Ted.
sponsor too, and I was reading. It was 11:25 is when I answered the majority of those first step questions, and I was like, "That's 4 months ago, bro. I'm not even here anymore."
No, it was it was last month because then he went wherever he went.
Right, whatever.
Well, I
whatever.
mean, you
And then I
definitely
got
realize how much when
We're
you go
growing
against the
every day.
grain. But you grow every day. But once you start taking your will back, you're basically going against the grain of life. That's just not, you're trying to go against gravity, really.
Right, and so,
What goes
whereas
up must come down. You know what I mean? We don't live on the moon, so
I realized that whereas a month and a half ago, and a majority of my recovery, in this, and this led into our little brotherly argument we had
Yep.
on Tuesday.
Yep.
This is what we were talking about because I've had about 4 incidents like that in the last 2 weeks, and my sponsor pointed out, what have you been doing differently? Is it because you're too busy, or is it because you're not relying on God? And because as before, I've even been accused of being lackadaisical because God's got this. I don't know, I didn't know how I was going to get a podcast on the air. God's got this. I didn't know how I was going to become a board member of 2218, but I knew God's got it.
Yep.
I didn't know how I was going to do a lot of these things. There were days I didn't know how I was going to do my rent. Me and Brady have talked about this, and both of you guys in the room have been like, Dad, we need, and God's got it. But whereas last week and this week, Tad was trying to get it. So I was frustrated when you said, how are you going to do this, where I didn't respond before. I took it personally because Tad was trying to get it.
yeah,
And that's why I felt personally attacked.
Yep.
Because Tad was trying to do it. And when Tad takes wheel, it's fucking stressful. It's hard. It's
yeah.
unmanageable. I do a lot of stuff. And when I do it all by myself, I can't do all that stuff. I have to rely on God and my friends.
And here's the thing with a lot of that is in all these recovery facets, these fellowships, they all talk about the same thing: is that your surroundings notice your growth before you do. And like one of our listeners and someone who's a member here, she said it clear as day. Tad and Aaron, you guys are crushing it, leading service to the next level at 2218. Our surroundings see what we're doing. Brady, when I met you, it was when we were moving you. I think that's when I met you. And then we came over after a podcast. The first one, I think, we were gonna have this big thing where we were hanging out, but people see people grow before we see ourselves grow more. So I heard my family talking about my growth before others.
Right.
Like your experience, no different. I've heard Miss Gracie, I hear her talk about you when you're not around, just about your growth. You hear about it from other people prior to looking in the mirror, because the bad stuff sticks out way more in our heads.
Yeah.
In my head, I can't speak for everyone
We're
else.
negative bias as a society.
Right.
yeah.
Well, and like Aaron said, you live how long you lived of that same shit pattern of in recovery, in, back out, back in,
My
back.
friend KG says it this way, and he doesn't mind if I tell this. I was just on the phone with him. He's going to try and get on the show as soon as he can. But he says, for 18 years I've been in the streets. I'm a national peace advocate. I have walls of awards for being a peace advocate. None of that would matter if one day I walked up and shot somebody. It would
Right.
all go away.
Yeah.
And that would be all.
It would
I
all be for nothing.
And that would be all that's all they would remember me for. So it's an everyday battle. And that's, and it's hard getting away from our past, because everyone in this room, all of us, even your son, we do a lot of service for other people, and we do a lot in the recovery community, and it's a continuous battle.
It's that whole networking.
Well, I mean, for me, dude, like you were saying, always helping others. Dude, you know, doing 6-7 meetings a week and working with sponsees and, you know, doing so much service work, like I started losing myself.
You
And
got
that's
it.
the
Yeah,
whole
you
thing.
have to remember.
You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
remember to
I
take
bet
some
so.
time for yourself. And
So
I was
for
in the
me-
same way when I first.
So for me, it was like, oh, you need, you know, my sponsor, you know,
Right.
Ken was like, dude, you need to find self care. I'm like, what
Yeah,
the fuck is
right.
self care?
Elena
Like,
shared
I
a whole
am
show
like,
about it.
Kim gets on me about that, dude.
We have to.
but
I was-
dude,
I
we
was-
have to look
I
out
was
for ourselves.
overworking
dude,
myself
like-
so much I was starting to pass out.
Our
Brady's got on me
self care
about it,
was
too.
in a bottle or in a freaking pipe or in
Man,
a
I was
needle,
getting
you know?
high and drunk for 32 years of my life.
That's all you know.
That was self care.
That was self care for me.
Yeah.
So
as
and
long as I
doing
had that, I'm good.
Doing service work feels good. It's helpful and it's the right thing. And I think sometimes we can get carried away in
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Which is why we have to have good friends. I mean, I know at some point I've looked at every one of you in this room and told you to go F yourself when you told me I'm doing more service work, and you know, try and keep up with me and gotten offended by it. But at the end of the day, I do need Tad time. I do need to go to GalaxyCon with Brady again, and we do need to, you know, I do need to hang out. And this is the thing I've always said is like, I've said this to each one of you in this room: relationships are work. And the relationships are important.
Yep.
When we're at the end of our deathbed, I'm not going to be looking at all the service hours. I'm going to be thinking about Aaron. I'm going to be thinking about Rick, Brady, Tim. I'm going to be thinking about my kids. I'm going to be thinking about the relationships I have. And I think this leads into a question.
Yep.
I wanted to do the first one from my buddy Matt, who I manage a sober house with. Question: what do you do to keep being at peace with yourself, happy, joyous, and free? Brady.
Oh, fuck. What do I do?
Well, you
to
kind of
be-
shared a little about it, but
I mean, yeah, I kind of.
That's why I shot it your way.
Touched on it a little bit. I mean, my self time is so like rare and spotted with anxiety about the next day. Like even like today, I had a day off, and I tried to like fit everything that I've been ignoring the last week into one day. Lost my phone in the process because I wasn't in the moment.
It's hard to say.
So what do I do? I mean,
like, how do you stay happy? I know you shared about meditation
just-
through
right,
YouTube, like.
some little tips because the whole
And a
table's gonna
follow-up-
go around and answer.
okay.
Follow up with that is it easier now that you're on your own, with whatever your answer is going to be here?
I find it harder on my own. You know, like I've always wanted to be on my own with the option of hanging out with people, and
Right.
now that has come, it's become the Brady story.
Easier to isolate.
Yeah, it's become Brady all day, every day, and I'm exhausted by my own like routine right now. But I'm catching it in the way that I'm asking management to put me on a schedule where I have more days off in a row versus like the one day where I spend the whole day like worried about the next day.
And like you have crazy hours, right?
Yeah, second shift.
Yeah,
So
okay.
You gotta get that 4-day weekend.
it's about 3 to midnight, roughly. So music, I guess, is my number one answer. When I get a chance to listen to music, is like it all fades away.
Like your computer stuff too. When I was at your place, you were talking to me about, you know, you upgraded this keyboard or that, or like gaming or what? I mean, what else?
Yeah. So I'm a tech junkie, I guess you would say. I love technology and just the way we're going with it. I love graphic design.
Okay.
I was in school for like a semester before meth took over.
Right.
Right.
And it's hard to get back to it because it feels like I'm a kid drawing for the first time. Like all those years.
But like that's your
That's
passion,
interesting.
right?
It's my passion, and I need to work at it more. If I'm being completely honest, I ran out of words.
That's all great.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions. Keep them coming in, guys.
Aaron, what do you do to keep being at peace with yourself, happy, joyous, and free? That was exactly what we were
I
talking
guess I
about
do a
earlier.
variety of different things. I mean, on a daily, I mean, I like to be on time for things, you know. I always kind of have been, even in my youth. Like I don't know, I'm kind of anal with that, but like in the morning, like when I go to work, I like usually show up about a half hour early and sit in my car, have my coffee, my cigarettes, you know what I mean? And I try to like just like put my mind at ease, you know what I mean? Like I know what I got to do for the work day, you know what I mean? And at the end of work, you know, I like to be able to come home, shower, relax, and maybe watch some TV, you know what I mean? Like before I got to go. But usually I'm pretty busy. I'm up here, you know, I'm either at a meeting or I have to run a meeting. I guess I try to find a little bit of quiet time throughout the day,
Right.
to be able to calm myself, because I'll find myself, especially at work, where I'm taking my will back and I'm not staying in the moment, and I'm wondering why my day is running harder, and I'm doing the same thing. You know, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over at work. It's anything different.
Funny how when you do that, like you can have the exact same day verbatim, but it.
Well,
feels-
and the thing of
one
it
day
is
feels
when I
better
let
than
it flow like my work day, like it doesn't matter what time like certain stuff gets done at, like it doesn't matter just at work, just in life in general outside of work, like how that works out. Like, because I do find myself, you know, getting disgruntled, or you know what I mean, like a little
Like
short.
unspiritually fit.
Well, yeah, like just short fused with stuff. Like I'm just like, and then I'll literally even say it out loud. I'll be like, Aaron, I'm like, what are you getting so angry about? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
why? And it'd be like, it's because you're just getting in your way, dude. Get out of your own way. And I have to literally say that out loud, and that usually works for me.
Starts to
When it-
ground
It
you,
starts to
like-
ground me a little bit. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't you guys say that all at this point we're at various different stages and different, you know, timelines in our recovery? But when all of you say it, we all have this angry point in recovery.
Yep.
And sometimes it comes back, and so you're hearing. I think most of the men in this room are considered very peaceful and level-headed, with maybe the exception of myself.
Very self-aware.
Well, but you
see,
realize
like,
what was
and it's
doing it
weird
though.
because and it's weird because so I get mad at you guys for knowing me from where I came from, and then people who know me now and we've had this conversation. Hey man, motherfucker, they think I'm very calm-headed and fucking think shit through, and then I'm not showing up like that.
Yeah.
Because I have more of a comfortability with you guys because I've known you guys for years, and. Like the fact of the matter is, I also know that everyone in this room I could yell at and they wouldn't get personally offended. And what they would do is be like, "What's wrong with you, Tad? Are you okay? Let's talk about it and we work
Right.
that shit out."
You got some people to hold you accountable.
It's even worse than them getting offended because now we got to deal with the problem, and that's like I think I like that the building of the relationship. Since your son's in the room, Gavin. Did you want to talk about your struggle today?
Sure.
And then we can all work through it. Here, grab the mic.
I want to hear myself though.
Oh, you can want one hand shit in the other and tell me what fills up first.
Whoa. Be nice to the young kid.
Shots
nice to him.
fired.
You're gonna be loud. You get him talking to the mic. Go ahead.
Oh hi, I'm Gavin.
Hey, Gavin.
Hi, Gavin.
How's it going?
Good. Talk to us.
When's your sober date there, kid?
Well, I'm 18. My sober date's 10/6/20, so I've been clean for I just had 6 months on Tuesday.
Awesome, man. That's awesome.
That a boy.
I've been struggling with addiction since I was 13.
A long time.
Long time. But I've found recovery at 14. I went to my first treatment at 14. Been in 12 treatment centers. But today I've been struggling today, even just this past week. I super stressed out today. My mom went to Florida, so I was gonna be. I'm living in a sober house with Tad. He's my house manager, so I got to deal with him. Just kidding, Tad. Love you.
Yuck.
Poor
Feel
kid.
sorry for
I
you.
know. Yeah.
So I was just, stressed. I was like, well, and it all led up to, my mom left me with no gas in the car, and then. I was supposed to go work on my brother. I had to go donate my plasma, and so I was just getting overwhelmed with so many things going on, and I made up, really, with what us addicts like to do is we use the littlest excuses to go use. And, you know, my excuse was, well, I'm going to go pick up some dope and get high. Well, I went and picked up some dope today. I didn't get high. I somehow, you know, God led me to a meeting at Will Work for Recovery tonight.
Good.
I ran into my dad, you know, and I was like, oh, hey there, you know. I was like, shit, I got dope in the car, you know, like, I felt sick to my stomach, you know, and I was like, I want to get high tonight, you know, but something led me to a meeting tonight, and, you know, so I was struggling, and something just hit me, you know. Miss Gracie was talking about something, you know. She was in the meeting tonight. She was, you know, saying that a girlfriend of hers went back out, and, you know, she doesn't want to lose anyone else to this disease. She doesn't want to lose anyone to overdoses. And, you know, I'm 18. I've lost 14 friends to overdoses, one including my dad, you know, back in 2018. You know, and I always say to people, you know, I don't want to be the next statistic to an overdose. And so I opened up in the meeting tonight, and I was being really vulnerable and said, hey, look, I've been struggling all day. Went and picked up dope today in my car, and I started bawling my eyes out, and, you know, something just hit me, you know, like that I needed to do that, you know, because I don't want to freaking die to this shit, dude. I'm too young. I got a lot going for me, and I got amazing role models in my life. You know, I got my stepdad here. He's my dad, you know.
Yeah.
He's raised me since I was a little itty-bitty toddler in diapers. You know, I got Tad, you know. Be quiet.
So sharing that though in the meeting tonight, when you're at Will Work and you had to get that out, when you shared that, talk to our audience, talk to us about that. Let us know what that was like. Just what was the feeling once you ended up sharing, like, hey, I went and copped some dope tonight. Like, I was gonna use. Like, you let it all out there. Did you plan on that? What, you like, dissect that for us, man. Break it down.
You know what, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to say something, you know. Like, I felt so sick to my stomach that I felt like I was going to puke the whole time. You know, I was like, you know, I was sitting in the room, and I felt comfortable, you know, because this Will Work has been my family since my dad got sober, you know, and since I got sober before him, but, you know, and he started going to Will Work, and then I got sober with him as well. So, you know, Will Work's been my family. I trust a lot of people there, and, you know, everyone there is going through the same shit I'm going through, you know. We're all struggling on a daily basis. And so, you know, and when Miss Gracie was speaking, it just hit me, you know, like, I just need to be honest. And so I just jumped in. I was like, hey, can I speak, you know, and started bawling my eyes out.
Nobody shot you down.
No.
Nobody said, hey, she's speaking.
Because that's not what we do. We don't shoot our wounded.
Exactly. You
Right.
know, and she said, you know, I mean, I give not Grace credit, but she kind of saved my life by saying that tonight, you know, like, I didn't, you know, it could have been my last use tonight.
You
And
damn right.
I could have died, you know. My dad would have had to bury me. My mom would have had to bury me
Yeah.
at a young
Little
age.
siblings and everything. It's not just us using, but no, you did what you've been taught to do.
What made you think about just going to a meeting though?
Yeah.
I mean, you already had the dope in the car, right?
You know, I don't know. I was driving on driving on Broadway because I went to my dope dealer's house over north, and then I ultimately drove past Will Work.
It's placed in a strategic spot.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
We all know where it's at.
Yep.
It's like right off North 2nd Street.
Yeah.
So
It's right there.
Drove past Will Work, skirted around, did a full 360 or 180, and drove my happy little ass to Will Work.
Yeah.
Bawling my eyes out, wiped my tears, walked in like nothing happened. Like I didn't have anything on me. And then,
And it's crazy because I seen you sitting over there on the couch and like you weren't acting yourself. Like I knew something was up, dude. Like, you know,
Isn't it
I could just
crazy
read
how
it,
we
dude.
just
Like,
know
what
that
the
when
fuck
we
is up
see
with him?
that?
Like something's
Because
not right.
I think it was just we easily know that is because we've been there.
Right.
So after
You
you
know what I
got that off your chest, what was the feeling you had? After you shared with whatever 70, 80 people that are usually there, what was going through you? What was the feeling?
I felt free. You know, I felt safe, and I felt, you know, like
Safe.
You know, me and my dad, we've had our struggles, you know, but him sitting next to me, you know, caring for me as a father is what really, you know, helped me jump back and realize and think for a second, what I'm sorry, I lost my words. What would happen if I would have went out tonight and, I would have overdosed? My mom's out of town. My siblings don't know anything. They're younger. My older brother doesn't pay attention. I would have been in my room probably dead.
Yep.
And then actually I have a speaking opportunity at my old inpatient treatment at Ambele on Tuesday that I'm going to share my story at. And that came in my head too, well, I have that opportunity on Tuesday and I want to go speak to these young teens. I'm a big advocate for young adults in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's what motivates me is, helping other young kids get in this program who are struggling with addiction. And
Don't you want to start a young people's meetings here?
yeah, actually, hopefully soon. I just got to figure out when. I want to start up a young people's NAAA meeting. Young people's.
So, I like you were saying, I've known you, dude, since you were in diapers. And it's been a great honor to be a father in your life. So I guess my question is for you is like, because it's always like I was telling you on the way here, like, the things that, the choices that we do, like to pick up or not, it's because if we look at all the problems in our life that's happening and we I go for the easiest solution. I'm going to get fucked up. Like, forget it. You know what I mean? So,
The smallest excuse.
it's an easy scapegoat for me.
Yep.
So I guess for me, like, I've seen you struggle, man, so many years. So, for you to open up and share the way you did, like, what do you think changed? Like, what made you, what made you want to share that? Like,
That's a good question.
because, like, of course, I went and grabbed the shit out of the car and I flushed it.
Yeah.
And there was a split second, dude, like,
What was going through Dad's head?
man, I was like, damn, I can get by with this shit. I'm like, dude,
You were
what
the
are you
responsible
doing?
Yeah,
one.
What are you
it's
doing?
the instant thought we have, though. It's a
And
thought,
that's the
though.
way it goes. So it doesn't
It's just
matter
a thought.
how fucking long or clean
No.
time you got. dude.
No,
Like,
it's,
I don't know.
I had
it's
this
always
shit in my
gonna be
hand. I'm
there.
like, damn.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Flush it.
Flush it.
But-
yeah.
So what do you think is going to be? You want to be an advocate, which you are an advocate. You want to start these meetings, and so you want to be that role model for younger children, right? So what do you think your next solution is going to be if you have, if you're having a bad day?
Solution, yes.
What is your solution instead of going to the dope man and picking up dope? What's your next solution going to be?
I got there's a thing called a phone. Technology.
Oh, that thousand pound phone. Shit.
Can you elaborate?
There's a thing called technology and a cell phone, that I have. I got a whole contact list full of people in this program, and I got a sponsor. My sponsor's moving up to Brainerd, so I'm, trying to find a new sponsor right now, to work the steps. Doesn't mean he still can't be my sponsor, but reaching out more. I'm very well known in this program, that I have hundreds of people's numbers or Facebooks, that I can reach out to.
Like, there's no excuse to say I couldn't get a hold of
Yeah,
someone,
exactly.
is what you're saying.
What I do is, today I didn't do it because I was so stuck in the F this, F that, it's Gavin's world, F all you guys,
Right? Your mind was made up.
Yeah, my mind was in a whole nother world. I was just ready to. Fucking sicko.
Who
Nasty
farted?
fucker.
God, he's in the middle
Dude,
of
go
a
check your
story.
fucking pants, bro.
Hey, we got elders listening, watching language.
Sorry, go wash your ass.
So look, here's the thing. Gavin, check it out. Here's the thing. Like, this is part of your story now.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be speaking on Tuesday about this.
Yeah.
Like, this is part of the story you're still writing. Fortunately, it ended up where you gave it to Pops, who was there for you, and he dumped it. Like, that's the same as like sometimes we all know what happens. You get dope. You beat all odds tonight. Basically, like, you were dead. I mean, we know the outcome. Jails, institutions, or death. You chose, like your dad's saying, like, what made you do that? Like, your mom's listening. Like, she's got your back. We've got, you've got recovery backing. There's no question about it. So it's like, this is part of your story now. You move forward with this as a tool of, pinpoint what was it, your higher power? That you said you felt something.
I don't even think it was I know it was part of my higher power, but what I felt like was, this is the only family I got, other than my parents and my siblings. I don't mean to,
It's the biggest family you'll ever
yeah,
have.
it's the biggest
Damn
family I'll
right.
ever have, and like,
And we're not going nowhere.
Right.
yeah,
That's
like,
the thing.
My actual biological family, they're all addicts. My biological dad's side of the family, all addicts. I don't have any contact with them. My grandma on my mom's side, she's understanding of addiction, but she doesn't understand it,
addiction. Yeah, right.
And my aunt is very judgmental about it. So I feel like what's big for me is, this is my family, and having my parents in the program, it's helped me lead my life into being sprouted into this whole recovery community and branching out, knowing Tad, Tad being a friend of my dad's, helped me get into a sober house there.
Networking, yeah, that's what this thing is. Like, it's not just about who you know. It's that we know people in the program.
Yeah.
Like, this program's what saved my life. I mean, I can't speak for you guys, but this is what saved my life. So, like, part of that is, you made a decision tonight, and that followed, there's domino effects. Like, fortunately, the domino effect that happened for you ended up the way it did. Like I think a higher power that happened that way.
Yeah.
Because usually we don't hear stories that end up that way. A guy opening a beer and dumping it out. A kid going to buy some dope and ending up giving it to his dad who's in recovery. Which you tested your dad, I imagine. Oh, Rick's over there. Bro, I'm going to be the first to tell you I'm glad it played out the way it did. It's unfortunate you got to that point. Hopefully next time you reach out prior to going to grab the dope. Yeah. But you know what? Like we've all shared, like right away at the beginning of this is like, you can't do this for your mommy. You can't do this for your siblings. Like this has to be for you.
Oh, exactly.
Like this is the way it's going to work is for you. You are the one who needs to want this. Like, and I'm not preaching. I'm just like, put a mirror in front of me when I say that shit. Cause there's no one, you can't talk me out of going to buy dope, dude.
Exactly.
You're not going to talk me out of what I want to go do. It's just that easy. None of you guys are gonna.
It's all about our self-conscious thoughts.
Always.
I think.
Well, and for me, dude, like I always try to say this, even when I share my story or even when I talk to somebody, it's like I can talk to you until I'm fucking blue in the face. It ain't gonna matter. What's gonna matter is at the end of the day is that choice that you're gonna make, not me.
Not me. No.
I could sit here and tell you, but you're the one that's gonna be the one to make
Yeah,
the choice
because
and not to pick up or use.
It's only gonna hurt myself.
The only person that keep you sober is you.
Right. It doesn't
You know what
matter.
I mean?
Your sponsor's not going to keep you sober.
No.
Your
My
parents.
sponsor can
None
give
of
me
that.
All the tools.
All it is
all this
advice.
wisdom.
Like Rick's right. He said, we don't shoot our wounded, but we won't cheat you out of your bottom neither.
Oh hell no. We won't
Like
cheat
that's
you out of
something
your
we
bottom.
can't do.
No.
I'm not here to be able to do that. Like and we're the best connive. We could be the like multi-gazillionaires if we just applied all this bullshit that we've done our whole life in like this whole corporate world. Like think of how slick we are all the time. It's crazy.
Or at least we think we are.
Speaking about that, Brady.
Oh. Yeah, Brady.
You know what? And yeah, you are. Gavin, you're getting a lot of love up from the audience because you did make the right choice tonight. Like, it just, you know what? We want to catch that type of thing. We need to figure out you need to figure out why you got to that point. And just try to correct it in the future. Like,
exactly.
work on that one thing. I know, like your dad just said, like, there's been times I've been there. Rick shared about some things. Like, he was at some lows. And he shared it with like 70 people. Like, look, guys, I want to go out and use. This doesn't feel like it's working, and I'm almost 3 years into it. Like, telling people this with tears in his eyes, like, shit gets bad in this.
Yeah.
Like, that's why our predecessors explained it to us. Like, it's pretty easy. I heard a guy share tonight about something that similar. Like, you come into these rooms, like, you're here for a while. There's some things that are set up for us to go through, some steps. Like, it's like going to a movie with your back to the screen, not doing it. Like, our predecessors have this laid out. It's pretty damn easy. And all this work we put into using, like, you put half that
It's a
effort into the
simple
recovery.
program for complicated
Complicated
dumb people. Like, complicated dummy. Brady,
Yo,
share on it.
can you be more specific?
Yeah, Josh said, when you want to get vulnerable, but are scared at the same time, how do you open up that door? What do you do? What's worked for you when you want to get vulnerable,
When I want to,
but you're scared to?
that's
Do you even ever want to?
that's the rub, isn't it?
That's the rub.
It's when I want to. No, I use comedy a lot.
You're good at it too, bro.
And I'm okay at it. I'll never
No, you're
be
good at
a
it.
stand-up. But a lot of treatments, they would ask me, are you using this as a coping mechanism? And I felt offended at first, and then I really looked into it. The reason I don't think I am is because I will drop the comedy at a moment's notice if I feel like this is something real.
Time
This
to
is
get
something
serious.
I have to get
Right.
off my chest. And what I love about myself is that I'm able to with anyone. But the rub is like when I want to. Because I keep a lot of it bottled up. I think of it as like trivial, minimize the realness of what I'm going through. Like I feel trapped by my job. That's my number one weight right now. I feel locked into a schedule in which I cannot get out.
To a point of thinking of moving on, or
To I think, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have been applying recently to treatment centers.
Okay.
My applications have been Avivo and Neway so far.
well, Vivo's not far from where you're at.
And yeah, I think I've spent my time. I've done my stint at detox. Like you said, Aaron, 8 months is a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a commit at this point.
Well, is there option where you're at to move up within, or is that it? You're at detox. That's where you go.
Not really. No. Like the only up there is to become an RN, and I don't want to be a nurse.
Right.
That's not in my future at all. So no, I'm pretty much locked into
You got
that
some
position.
dirty looks over
So
there.
it's time to move on. Like it's
Right.
that time. Did your employer like you're all responsible about you've talked to them about the adjustment in your schedule right now, right?
I have, yeah.
Right.
And like I said, they're just so understaffed that, and people like come in and they leave right away because it's a hard job. You get literally and metaphorically spat on by the clients that you're trying to help. And it's starting to rub me the wrong way. I'm not going to go use over it, but fast forward a couple months of doing the same thing, I might.
Right. Right. You got to be
You're
proactive.
starting to
about
realize
So,
that you it's just coming to an end, and that
Right. And to go back to your question, like, how do I get vulnerable? It's more of a question of how do I recognize that this feeling needs to be talked about instead of just bypassed as something a normal human being goes through.
that. Right.
Like
Right.
everyone hates their job. Why am I any different? Kind of thing. But when I do, I feel like I can talk to anyone about anything at any time when I do.
When you do. See, and I was going to say that about you. Like, when we met the first night, when you alluded to the whole comedy thing, like, kind of as a, I don't know. Like, I've done that my whole life. The difference between us is I'm not funny when I do it. Like, it's awkward. It's,
Right.
People, our audience have heard how awkward it can be when I try to crack jokes. But, like, we were putting the couch in and out of the van, and you made some real funny off-color remark. I'm like, I like this dude.
Oh, yeah.
Something corny about the couch going in and out of the door. Something
Yeah.
just... Like, I'm like, I like him.
I've never been good at first impressions, but sometimes I hit the mark.
So, I think you answered that well. Like, you answered it well. And you got a lot of things in life going on right now, and you're making, it sounds like the right choices. You've mentioned talking to your sponsor, you're sharing with others when you choose to, like, and recognizing that you need to choose to. So we're going to go on. We're getting tons of questions. So we're going to bust this one over to Aaron from Matt. What changes did you make in your life in order for growth?
for growth.
Yes.
Like, for instance, like we were speaking about earlier, I mean, like from going from that sober house to being an assistant manager, like I've made steps. Like granted, I don't feel comfortable doing it, but I was once told if you're comfortable, you're not doing anything.
No, you're
You know
not
what I mean?
growing.
You're not growing. Yeah,
Right,
exactly. What
right.
that's what I was looking for. Not
Paul's been
growing.
saying that a lot
So
of
you know,
times, too.
and so I had to get vulnerable and try to new things that I'm not used to doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Get
Like,
outside yourself.
get outside myself and going with it. And I'm trying to keep myself there. You know what I mean? Like especially when, you know, I start something and then after a while it just seems to be like dying off. Like kind of like what Brady's saying. It's just it's time to move on. You know, you kind of tend to know.
Right.
And when that time is there, it's time to start looking for something new.
Life
You know?
changes.
And then that's what's helped me, and then it's that's how I know that it's time. Yeah, it's time to move on. So
Cool. No, hey, answered well. So, you know what? I'm going to throw it back to the last question. Rick, when you want to get vulnerable, but you're scared at the same time, how do you do it? How do you open up that door? How do you get vulnerable? Like, just as easy as it's asked. Like, how do you get vulnerable? And I don't know, maybe sometimes you're not scared to, but how are you able to get vulnerable with people?
Well, to be honest, like when I first my first time getting vulnerable, like when I first got in recovery, like I shared about my whole life story with people, right? And I went out to a meeting out in Stillwater, and the sponsor that I had, learning the program, like, oh yeah, you can tell your sponsor anything, it'll be safe, So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be vulnerable, right? I'm gonna tell you my whole life story. Well, I got it back to a bunch of people. So I felt distrusted. So then I shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm an introvert. I was really secluded growing up as a child. So contact with humans, per se, that wasn't in my favor, right? So when I shut down and I threw up these big-ass walls. It took a long time to tear them down. So I made a commitment to myself. I said, you know what? Forget what happened in the past. In order for me to get vulnerable, I got to tell you my story. And that's what I did. Like from day one, like I'm an open book, dude. I won't lie about shit.
And that's why I threw the question is because I alluded to it earlier, but like there's been 3 specific meetings that like stick out in my head because you said some things like at the time, like, and that made me get closer with you whether you wanted me to or not. Like you said some things that if anyone who was listening and even gave a shit, they would start to reach out to you more. Like you said some things that were borderline scary. Like you're talking about some real scary shit. Like you were talking about struggles. And like what you were sharing were some things just on merit alone would, for me to say those type of things out loud to one person, let alone a room of 50 plus people, like to me that's vulnerable. That's getting vulnerable. But on the other hand, it's like you want this recovery. You don't want to go back to what you knew.
I don't want secrets. You know what I mean? Like I lived my whole life in a secret. It took me, it took me until I was 38 years old to find. I always say like, I stopped living my adult life when I started getting high. So when I started getting high and drunk when I was 13.
Right. The book talks
I
about
stopped
that.
growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this whole life of me now at 42 years old is a freaking stranger. Like,
Well, that's our books. Our books talk about it, and it's worded as such: is when you start picking up, your emotional growth stops.
Yep.
So you stopped at 13. You're 42. You've got 3 years under your belt. You're really only like 16, bro.
Right.
Like you're emotionally 16 years old. Like when that was explained to me, I tried to argue with my sponsor. I'm like, bro, I'm not only 13 years old. Like he's like, Tim, listen to how you can't even listen to me right now.
Right.
And like it was right in my face what he's saying. And I'm trying to like right now I'm trying to bring up more of what you're saying to get you guys to talk more, not tell you more of my story. But I think like that's huge for people to hear that. Like someone at your age, you've been shut off your whole life.
yeah.
You come into recovery, and I look at it as you just want this thing so bad. You come into a meeting, because that's what these meetings do for people. As long as you're, let's say, vulnerable,
Well,
you want it bad enough.
I have to think of it like this too. Like, it's not about me. This clean time I got, it's not about me. I look at it, it's for these newcomers, these new people in the rooms and shit. My story might save their life. They might be able to reflect on what what I've went through. They might have lived the same shit that I went through or going through. So that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me vulnerable. Because, like I said, I don't have nothing to hide. I want you to know, because that's why you can't judge me for shit.
So you just answered the second question Matt asked: is what changes did you make in your life in order for growth? Right? Like that's what you'd say is like getting vulnerable.
Yep.
What time are we at, Tad?
36. So with all the people in the room, we might.
We could start gratituding, huh? Well, at 2218, the same place that's got the 3rd annual Ride for Recovery.
Yeah, baby.
Like the place that has a spot for you to come volunteer at. Like this place runs on volunteers. Like I'm in a room with like 5 volunteers that donate so much of their time to keep these doors open. Like this place saves lives. You're listening to story after story of how this place saves lives. And that just goes into 2218. Like this place never closed their doors during this pandemic. Then they've stayed safe. We've done what we could to make sure there's a meeting for people that struggle, people for growth, whatever have you. 2218, the Attitude for Gratitude podcast. We got the Gratitude Cafe. We got, is it the Gratitude Cafe? Yes. The $5 meal on Fridays. Don't sleep. 2218. If you're able to donate, there's links left and right on here. Go to the Facebook page, go to their website, and donate to 2218, the club itself. It'd be greatly appreciated. You know what, Tad? Do we have a date on the rap battle?
Yeah, July 24th.
July 24th.
Rap battle?
The rap battle's on the 24th. Don't sleep. Tad's in the corner thinking about some meat.
Damn.
I'm about to bring
Drop the mic.
You know, I used to get paid to rap. Like,
Yeah.
if you're challenging me, I'll
Oh, shots
snap.
fired.
Oh,
That's it. Gavin signed up for the rap battle.
Gavin signed
And I'm
up.
now officially
you're gonna
I
get
didn't
wasted, boy.
Bro, he's
Gavin,
not
hand
lying.
him the microphone real quick.
No,
Here goes the ego
He
again.
saved shots fired to get a ticket.
Buy your tickets to the rap battle and you can hear it.
Give him a taste.
Oh, Tad's got that fire in his eyes. Do you hear him? You know that voice.
I
He's
don't
so
know
You
it.
both know his
serious,
little.
too.
I'll show you voice.
I will give you $5
the
right
main
now.
event, Tad
You're gonna
and
need more than that.
Gavin.
That's gonna be like round. Yeah, we're gonna have some rounds, and it's gonna be go time. I'm gonna be hula hooping, loose legs. Timmy's there, all this jazz. Like you guys, that's 2218 for you. That's what we do here. We have fun. I mean, recovery is more than just recovery. We have fun.
Recovery is awesome. Fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Ride for
You know what I
recovery,
mean?
like you don't need a
I've
motorcycle.
learned more just in fellowshipping than I have just sitting in a freaking meeting
Right.
sometimes. you know
Life
what I mean?
skills
Like,
too. Like how do I hang
exactly.
out
How
with
do I-
people? Like
how do
for
I
so
interact?
long, I was.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
my social skills obviously weren't all that great. You know what I mean? And I still struggle with that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Nuttier than squirrel poop. I love it.
Brady will be there on July 24th DJing, even though he's just finding out about it right now. That's what I was trying to tell
This
you.
is us taking insurance out on your accountability, bro.
I thought you said September.
I'll contact your employer.
You and I are DJing.
Yeah.
So we have 2 events now.
I
boy.
hope I work that day just to get out of it.
Put yourself on the schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and advertise.
Oh, and then like tonight after recover Roki, like tonight after this podcast, we're all heading down to the annex auditorium because there's recover Roki. Like they do karaoke and like so much support. Like I've never gotten up and sang in front of people unless there was usually some Polish pops involved or something, but not anymore. Like down there, you're supported. Like I'm telling you, this spot, like 2218, we have fun here. It's a blast. So that's what you sign up for when you're part of this place. So you don't have to, come down and hula hoop, but there's a lot of fun going on here.
Well,
There's a
Tim,
hula hoop?
Tim,
Shift into gratitude.
Gratitude.
hold on, Tim. One more thing. Well, you were just saying about
Loose legs, Timmy?
what?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, Tim, you go hit at it.
What? All right, Gavin, what are you grateful for tonight?
I don't know. I'm just grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm just grateful that God's given me a second chance at life.
Fuck, can't beat that. Hey, Ron, tell me what you're grateful for tonight.
I am grateful for my newfound family.
Your newfound family.
Yeah.
Shit, get it. Matthew. We got Matt S., our backup producers in the house. What are you grateful for tonight?
I'm grateful for God, my family, my friends. Wonderful job that I now have. I love it. Can't ask for anything more. Just grateful for life.
Boom. Elena, what are you grateful for tonight?
I am grateful that I made it here tonight. I missed last week. So I'm very grateful. It starts out the weekend really, really good. So.
Rick. Big filling in the slot, Rick. Stepping up to the plate tonight. What are you grateful for, bro?
Man, there's so many things I'm grateful for. But one I can say that I'm really grateful for is to been able to wake up this morning.
Yeah. I
Pretty
hear that.
simple.
You know, because a lot of us don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So don't
Tim,
take
what are
that
you
shit
grateful for
granted.
today?
Shit. You know what I'm grateful for. I got a mother, a father, a brother, extended. Oh, wow, you guys got me on this rap battle shit. My mother and my father, my brother, my extended family, like, I got people. I just look at this phone and see how many people are listening and, like, the support of people that just want to listen to some real talk. Like, yeah, we might not be having millions and millions of listeners and viewers and some superstar shit, but you know what? I feel good when I go home tonight. Every time we have this show, it's like, I'm grateful we have this. I'm grateful I have family. I'm grateful I have you guys in my life. And I love yous, all of you. So, Tad, with that said, what are you grateful for, bro?
Did everyone else go?
Everybody went. We saved the best for last.
That's not true. But
Oh, his head's getting
yeah,
big. Hold on.
we didn't.
Yeah.
That's
slow
not
down,
true.
Slow down. Slow down. The ego's getting bigger.
Oh, shit.
What are you grateful for, Ted?
I am grateful for everyone here in this room. Like, all my best friends are in this room. This is my family. And without wavering exception, you guys are always there for me. And, you know, I'm also grateful that we don't always show up at our worst on the same day. Because can you imagine that shit if we were all having a bad day together and decided to fucking go paint the town? That would suck. And I'm grateful, you know, that. Right. It'd be crazy.
Circus.
Elena's
That's
just
good.
laughing. What a circus.
Jeez.
It's over there
Right,
chuckling
right.
away.
Prison time for life.
You would see live
25
national
life
television.
sentences
It'd be
each.
like a huge. Like we, yeah.
Right,
It'd be
and
bad.
luckily, to circle back,
Jeez.
that we don't all show up like that, and we have each other's back. You know, there
Right.
could be a day that I could be having a bad day, and you guys all have to hold me, and we have to hold Aaron up, and you know, I don't know.
It's not
We're
much
not
of
alone.
love. I'm pretty short.
And you lost a lot of weight.
Oh my gosh. So, with that being said, did we cut all?
We
all
did
our
cut them all,
promos?
but you know what? I wanted to add one more thing I'm really
add
grateful
one more
for is
thing.
knowing that this is a proven program of recovery. Like we heard a kid's story tonight talk about going to pick up some fucking dope and didn't use. Like
Yeah.
That's
like,
huge, man.
That's like we usually would have gotten that message tomorrow. Did you hear about so and so passing? Did you hear about what's his name's kid? That's just how this shit happens, and it ends up being a blip. Like you're here tonight, Gavin. Like, bro, I'm grateful you're here. It's that easy. I'm grateful you're here.
And
Does that ever not suck when we hear that shit?
It does. Even when if I don't really know the person,
Right.
But just hearing it.
Yeah,
You know what I
because we
mean?
know what the alternative is.
And especially, you know, Gavin, and especially for kids your age, teenagers, and hearing that, even younger, especially people younger than I am, it's just like, wow.
Right.
I got
It's like that. It's devastating.
Right. I gotta say, you know, like my whole thing, and I've said this to Gavin and about Gavin, is like, you know, at his age, I have a lot of respect for the age he is, and doing this, because if I'd have had someone, my dad, all these people,
had a free pass.
me telling me about my recovery, telling me what to do, I know exactly what I would have said at his age. I'd have told y'all to get effed.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have told y'all, you know, hey, look, old man, you're jealous because I'm young. I'm
Right.
what you used to be. You can't hack it like me. I just said something exactly
that's-
along that lines and told you to go F yourself and then went and done me.
Right.
And, you know, had to find out the hard way 500 times.
If you got that chance.
If you get that chance. Yeah,
Because
if
nowadays
you're
that's
lucky.
not how it works.
If you're lucky to make
Right.
it to 36. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Yeah, and hey, it's really quick. I want to say to Gavin, you know, another thing that I'm really extremely grateful for is that I've been able to have you a part of my life for a long time. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, father-son love.
So I love you, and keep fighting the good fight, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this-
But don't let none of this go to your head, bro, because you know there's a lot of work ahead. Listen to all of us. 3+ years struggling.
Man.
3+ years still dealing with this shit. It's just, we keep coming until we hear that message.
Three
like,
plus years clean. You've been dealing with this shit. Your
yeah,
whole
that's what I'm
life.
saying. Like,
Around-
yeah.
you've
Like,
been
yeah.
going through it.
I mean, it's, and it's easy to let that go to your head when you
With
hear
the
so
exception
many
of
people
Timmy,
saying all
We've
this.
all tried to. We've all been in recovery longer than that.
Right,
My-
yeah.
You know, we've had some bumps. I mean, Timmy's a. I look it up at Google and succeed one time. I wish I would have known about Google.
I
when
haven't
was
succeeded
16.
nothing.
I'm
Well, I
just
mean,
kidding.
Don't pedestal me
Back
like
when
that.
I was Gavin's age, I
No.
thought about being in recovery.
No
I didn't think I
way.
had a problem then.
No.
I-
Like,
No.
seriously.
I was getting
I've said
high
this
and
before.
drunk with my old man at,
Yeah.
at,
It-
at
it-
18.
I went to treatment at his age, and it was to get off of meth. And the whole time, I could think is like, dude, you're gonna tell me I'm gonna turn 21 and never go
Right.
to a freaking bar? I'm never
Right.
gonna drink at a bar. I'm never gonna drink at a
Yeah,
bar. I'm never
right.
gonna like that was that would go through my head.
Mm-hmm.
So like I didn't go to treatment to get into recovery. I went to treatment to quit doing hard drugs.
To get back to normal.
Yeah, and you know what I found.
What the hell is
when I-
normal?
Right.
Right.
Normal just means the definition of normal means most.
Setting on a dryer.
Most.
Normal for me
setting on
was
a
when I was
dryer.
12.
So like look at the people in our life, they're all in recovery and crazy fuckers. So most people that's normal for us.
That's normal for us.
You're right. You're right.
Look, this is the norm for us right here. I just want to say a couple things before we get into buzzer beater. We have a special buzzer beater, not by me again tonight, and it's not going to be by Tim either. So don't worry,
Good.
guys.
Then we're good.
Oh, thank God.
By a very esteemed person. Anyways, so if anyone is struggling tonight, reach out. If anyone's
Please.
having a hard time, please reach out.
Please.
This doesn't have to be your last night. It doesn't have, if you know someone that's struggling, you can contact me at Tad Ackerman on Facebook or tadackerman1 at Gmail. You can contact Timmy.
Timothy J. Warren on Facebook. You're worth something, man. Do
And-
it for yourself.
Look, if you felt some connection or you want to talk to our guests ever, hit me or Timmy up and we'll ask them.
Yeah.
The worst you can do is give us your info. I'm sure that none of these guys in this room are
Dude, you
ever
can
gonna-
give my info out.
give it out.
Go ahead. Any way
You
they can reach
hit
you.
me up on Rick Dean Facebook. So
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyone that if you're
Yeah,
if you want
and
to.
it's me and my motorcycle, so you'll see me.
Oh, congratulations on your first Harley, Rick.
Yeah, baby.
Either
Anybody can hit me up. Everybody usually goes by my name, AA Ron, but it's Aaron Weber, Facebook.
all right,
Yeah.
and we just asked.
Yeah.
You wanna give
Brady's
yours out,
gonna
Brady?
get to-
Brady Lowery, Lowery, and I'm grateful. Not that you asked.
See, I told you. I knew it.
Did forget about
I
him.
thought so.
I'm grateful that you forgot about me.
Brady needs you
We
guys to
love
reach
you.
out to
We
him
love
too.
you.
Please do reach out
I
to
ju-
Brady.
I-
Brady, can I ask you something before we go to buzzer beaters?
Yeah.
What are you grateful for tonight?
I mean, you put me on the spot. I just didn't see this
I'm
coming.
sorry, dude.
No, I just had an answer in my head. I'm grateful that I finally pushed through my anxiety and came here.
Hell yeah.
Proud of you, brother.
You guys have been trying to get me to come here for a while. I'm grateful that no matter how lonely, mad, in my head I can get, I'm still sober. I just celebrated 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And I don't really even think about it anymore, which is
Come to more meetings.
not the greatest thing to slowly forget about your recovery. And that's been one of my fears is someone shows up who is a quote unquote normie and they're like, hey, let's have a couple of beers.
Right.
And I forget that I used to have a really sad problem with it. I'm grateful I have made it farther in my life than I ever have. You were talking about age, physical age versus emotional. I'm the youngest person here in that regard. I think I'm 11 maybe.
Oh boy. Yeah, I forgot you started at 4, didn't you? No, I'm.
No, like trauma, prevented my
right,
emotional
right.
growth. But Yeah, I'm just grateful to be alive.
I'm grateful you showed up because I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll tell our audience like, Aaron and Brady. When Aaron was on before, that was the other guest. It was Brady, but it was a work confliction or something. I'm making an excuse for you, but you weren't able to be here. And tonight, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had written you out the second you weren't here early enough. Like I was like, well, he's just not gonna show again. And when you came through the door, like you got a kiss. I gave you a kiss, bro.
You did.
I did. You're damn right.
I
'Cause
just
I'm
wish it was like above the waist.
well, you know what? I knew we were on radio and no one was gonna see.
But you know what? It's just been so long. I take it where you can get it.
Okay, so Dad,
Moving on.
we're down to 9 minutes.
They got him.
You got him. Yeah, we're moving on.
All right, it's time for buzzer beater. Since we're talking about the rap battle coming up, and with the news of another addict falling, DMX, I figure what is your favorite DMX song, movie, or memory of DMX? Mine is "What These Bitches Want."
Who's an addict, though?
A DMX song?
Or
Movie, memory, anything from DMX.
Oh man.
Where's not everyone's quit? Go ahead.
Better Google that shit.
Lord, give me a sign.
There you go.
Go to sleep.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh, I'd have to agree with Matt. Mine's the same as that.
What is it?
What these bitches want.
What these bitches want, yeah.
bitches want?
Pick a different one.
What these bitches need?
It's been so long. I haven't yeah, I would have to Google half of the stuff. I haven't listened to most of it, but yeah, it was kind of quite a shock just to see that. I mean,
We can't have.
I'm not. I know.
so yeah, Brady.
Who is DMX?
Thank you. No, he was a.
For 100.
gonna make me lose my mind.
Up in here, up in
Movie
here.
on Jeopardy? Who is DMX?
That one.
Or do you know what? Do you have a
Shut him
famous
down,
person who
open
lost
up,
their fight
son.
to addiction?
What's
do you
that?
have a famous person who lost a fight to addiction that you would like to honor with a song or something that they that they're gone now? I don't know. I want you to be part of the buzzer beater.
Does it have to be like a music artist?
Yeah, whatever.
Robin Williams.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Patch mother freaking Adams.
Yeah, the person you would least expect.
Right. I know.
Was that movie with him and Jet Li?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like Romeo and Juliet or something? With Jet Li?
Him and Jet Li were in a movie that was really good.
That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't freaking remember what it was. The name
I
of
think
it.
it was yeah.
But it's that one. That's one I like.
Goal too.
That's the same movie, I think. No, Jet Li's not in that one.
Oh.
Sure. Cradle to the Grave.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You already got
So
it.
that's what mine is.
What gun you?
Cradle to the Grave, yeah. Yeah, do you have anything with DMX?
I actually know DMX. X gonna give it to you.
What?
X gon' give it to you. What?
Yeah, I love that song. Actually, I know DMX a little bit. I don't know him fully, but yeah.
X gon' bring it.
Okay, Tim, what's your buzzer beater answer? Well, my buzzer beater answer.
Yeah, Tim.
Well, thanks, Tim.
Nobody asked.
That's how you got to do it here. So you should have asked what you were grateful
Nobody
for.
asked.
He's over there. already.
Hang on, I'm gonna clean up from earlier.
Should we close with the Serenity Prayer?
So the DMX Serenity Prayer. Lovely. Their anthem, the Rough Rider anthem.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, Belly. Don't sleep on that movie, Belly.
Matt Krebs says belly.
Oh, did he? I'm
Yeah.
not even on that page. I'm busy Googling away. Yeah, Belly was a great show. Great show. Wow, this video's no longer available. What the heck? So, guess what? Those were good. DMX.
Yeah.
DMX. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We got 5 minutes. We could do another buzzer beater. We got 8P. We got people.
If you can think of one off the top of your head real fast.
What's a buzzer beater?
No, anyone but Tim.
Nothing rap related.
And I don't do rap related buzzer beaters. Buzzer beaters, off the top of your head answer.
Well, did you know that the Prince of England died?
Yeah, he was all of 99. He lived a long life. This ain't current events. So, no. Yeah, probably. Them and you know what? I can't talk about that.
Calm down, Tim.
So, you know what? A buzzer beater is something like, let's just use, for example, like a recovery product.
That's why we were trying to
No,
keep it
we're
away
not
from
doing
Tim.
recovery.
Okay, then give us one, Elena.
Something new.
We're not doing recovery products.
Rick.
Brady, what's your favorite activity that relieves stress for you?
In recovery.
Oh, that's perfect.
Radio safe,
Here
though.
we go.
PG-13.
In recovery.
Yes.
I'm glad you caught me there.
Not sex.
Shoot.
Art, man, it's art. Like
I was gonna say
is
his art, like his comics are cool, dude.
Life is art, and it just feels good to like put it on paper.
Gavin, what's your favorite thing in recovery?
Working out. I just got into it thanks to Matt Slavic.
There you go. No last names. Rick, what's your favorite recovery activity?
Man, so I've learned. Oh yeah, well yeah, riding the bike.
Favorite
But,
recovery activity.
but my favorite activity is like when I want to be by myself or do something different. I like to take the drive up to the North Shore.
Oh, yeah,
and hit all
that's
the
your deal.
waterfalls. And just spend some great time by myself.
Yeah, and a lot of good pictures I've seen.
Yes,
Hey, Aaron, what's one of your favorite things to do in recovery? And then we'll take it to Elena.
Sitting by the fire.
All right. Elena, what's your favorite thing to do in recovery?
To be honest, go to a meeting.
I'd hope you'd be honest.
Oh, come on! Outside of a meeting.
Dude, that's what I do. Meetings, fellowship, working with sponsees. Like, that's what I do. That's what I enjoy to do.
Perfect. Good answer. Matthew, what is your favorite thing to do in recovery activity?
Say now that it's becoming summertime, I'm gonna say come fucks with us, volleyball.
Volleyball, come box with us. Tad, what is your favorite recovery activity?
Bossing all you people around.
Okay, so what's your favorite successful activity?
His head
in
blew
recovery?
up.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Passing the buck.
Oh, wow.
Delegating.
Wow.
There
A
you
good
go.
leader knows
Another
when
way
to.
of saying it.
So seriously, you know what? Probably just chillaxing with my friends, watching some shows, getting that quality time. You know, because relationships are hard work and life is hard. So getting some time to just have fun. I never laugh as hard as I do as when I'm with you guys and my friends. We get some chuckles in. Yeah, gut busters. So this has been a great show, everybody. I'm gonna go over to Gavin so he can say bye to everyone. Gavin, you want to say bye to the world?
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Aaron, Brady, Rick.
Later, guys. Have a good night.
Hey, good night, guys. It was good to be here. Matt, I love you.
Which Matt?
The one that's not here.
Oh, yeah, we all love you.
Matt.
Yep, that one. We all love you, Matt, and we're sorry for your not being here.
The one who's in competition with Tim for beards.
So my favorite recovery activity is
I knew he was gonna pull that. I knew it. I was waiting.
That's twice.
besides fishing. I would honestly say having conversations with family, like recovery, like being able to. It's crazy to explain, but being able to have a conversation as an adult with my family. It's you'll either understand me or you won't, but that's one of my favorite
And
things to
fishing.
be able to do. Now what? Say something. Don't get me going. I still got 2 minutes of hip hop, boy.
We're not doing that. Anyway,
Belly. Shelly.
No, we're not
Look
doing
at this
that.
jelly.
The people that are getting traumatized right now.
So
we're
I
sorry.
just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come on here. It's been really awesome.
Dude, thank you for showing up.
Man, any time, dude. And I just want to say for everybody, stick with it, man, because we're all worth it. So don't give up on yourself.
We are all worth it. Hey, I love all of you guys. Tim, you want to say bye to all our people?
Thank you for making this an interactive show, everyone.
So next week we're gonna have Rob and
I won't
another
be here.
guest.
I'm gonna be in Vegas, so
Next
you guys
week,
pray
you're-
for me, man.
I thought it was the following week.
Nope, next week I'm gonna be in Vegas watching the 4 wide. Like what?
Oh, okay. Well,
Like
next
what?
week we'll have Rob, a guest host.
You can't
And
make
a
that choice now.
special guest.
It's surprise mystery
Yep,
guest.
we'll have 2 surprise people here and Rob H. So please tune in. And from all of us at the Attitude for Gratitude, have a great night, have a great week, and stay healthy and love one another.
Love you. The love is
Peace.
there.
Good night.
The love will never
Peace
go
out.
away. Tell me when we're off the mic today.